You're watching Barnstable This Morning, and joining me now is Don Parkenson. He is a photographer and glass blower. You were actually a photo editor for Enterprise newspapers for a lot of years. What brought you into photography?
Originally, it started to take pictures of glass for a website. And then I ended up, through a course of events, living in Iowa. And I just thought that the landscape out there was really cool with the old barns. And so I bought a camera and started doing photography there.
Love it. I'm from Ohio, so I can relate to the you know, lots of farmland, lots of barns. They are very, very pretty.
Yeah.
You know, when did you become a glass blower?
That was, I don't know the year, but my interest in it started after seeing Jane Walsh on Main Street making glass in the window of her shop. And then over the years I saw glass and it really intrigued me, so I just started hanging out at Pearpoint down by the Sagamore Bridge until finally Dave McDermott would talk to me. And after weeks of badgering him, he gave me a job, and so I served an apprenticeship there. Nice. And then I ended up becoming a a photographer, and then now I've gone back to glass and doing mostly lamp work glass now. So.
Wow. It seems like it would be a really tough skill to develop, glass blowing. Is it a tough thing to learn?
Yeah.
How long did it take you?
The apprenticeship at Pearpoint is 5 years, but the first maybe year and a half is the hardest because you can't really make anything, so it's just really frustrating. But once you learn the basics, it gets easier and easier, and obviously more fun when you can actually have a finished product at the end of the day.
Wow. You know, that takes dedication. Did you ever feel like giving up at any point, or were you like, I am going to learn this skill?
Well, the way it kind of happened with the lamp working especially, you could almost always make something. So it was really just building skills on top of skills as you get better. So like between last year and even this year, my work has changed almost 100%.
Wow.
And started learning new techniques and trying new things and pushing the boundaries of what I already knew. And so it's kind of exciting because you never know where it's going to go. And
you first made a lot of beads. You had you have capebeads.com highlighting some of your glass blowing work. Talk to me about, you said you branched out a little bit. You're doing more than just bead work. Talk to me about what you've branched out into and what you're creating.
Trying to do more blown stuff, like hollow form vessels and small things, small vases, and also doing a little bit more sculptural stuff. So, you know, the usual like sea turtles and seahorses and things like that.
Nice.
And then even the beads have become more pendants. So those are becoming more sculptural with sea turtles, hearts, and things of that nature. So just getting away from your typical round beads to more sculptural type work.
Love it. Looking at your website too, you have a website, capephotos.net. You have some absolutely stunning photos. How have you collected them throughout? How many years have you been taking photos for just your benefit, not for work?
On that site, they probably go back to maybe 2000, 2001, or probably like 2000. It started out, like I said, with beads, and then moving back to the Cape after living in Iowa and down in the Florida Keys, really just incorporating water in a lot of it. And I kind of get into long exposures and kind of like glass blowing, like you learn little tricks and you just keep playing with them until you...
Now, what does a long exposure do for a photograph?
For a lot of the water photos that I have, it'll really smooth out the water. So typically to shoot sunset, a lot of people shoot it right before the sun sets, which is always going to give you a really uneven exposure. Foreground's going to be kind of dark, sky's going to be really bright, but if you wait another 20 minutes for the sun to completely go down and then use a longer exposure, it evens out the whole exposure. So your foreground is going to be bright enough to see, plus you're going to have still a beautiful sky. So it's kind of an important technique to know for doing good sunsets.
So it sounds like you have a lot of experience with photographs and photography. Is this a self-taught skill, or was this something really?
Yep. Both. well, the lamp working and this are self-taught. Basically just reading books, and
Yeah.
I credit a lot to fredmiranda.com. It's a photography forum online. And when I was starting, there were a lot of really good photographers on there who took a lot of time to help and sort of pick apart your photos so you could see what you did wrong, what you could do better. And then working for the enterprise for all those years and being thrown into so many different challenging photographic situations, you kind of learn where you need to be, how you need to set the camera to get what you want, and so it's just kind of a years of practice.
And isn't that true? Practice, practice, practice makes perfect. So you actually were featured in the art shanties. You had an art shanty this summer. How was that experience for you?
It was awesome. It was really cool for me to be able to see so many people look at my work and see their reaction to it. Especially with the glass, I make so many different styles that to see what people really were drawn to and what they picked up and what they wanted to see, and plus just meeting all these people from literally all over the world was a fun week.
Yeah. So you were there for a full week?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Great. Do you think you'll do it again?
I want to do it again, yeah.
Wonderful. Hey, can we find your photography or glass work anywhere during the year outside of the shanties?
My glass is at the Sandwich Glass Museum and the Catawba Center for the Arts and Samuel Day Gallery. Photography, I basically just sell at shows and online.
Nice.
Yeah.
Great, yeah. And so we should direct everyone, of course, to capephotos.net to learn more, as well as capebeads.com. Thank you, Don, so much for stopping by, telling us all about your shanty experience as well as your wonderful artwork. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And of course, Don Parkinson is a photographer and glass blower. For Barnstable This Morning, I'm Sarah Mannel.